Awesome. I see our participant count is going up. So we've got some individuals here with us tonight. That's great. All right, looks like we're slowing down a little bit. So I am going to get started so everyone has a chance to present. So welcome everyone to the College Essay Guy Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event with us. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Chelsea and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/collegeessayguy. Without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter, and that's going to be Ohio Wesleyan University.
Hello, I'm Kristen Crosby, and I'm the Director of International Admission and also the Regional Director for New England Admission. I'm going to share my screen now and get started. But Ohio Wesleyan is a small, private, residential university. We have about 1,500 students, and we're located in the small, safe city of Delaware, Ohio, but very close, about 30 minutes from Columbus, Ohio. And Ohio Wesleyan was founded in 1842, and we were founded as a place that was to be welcoming to people of any cultural, religious, or ethnic background. And we even had some women in our first class at Ohio Wesleyan. And we are still a very welcoming place today. And with that, I'm going to give you an introduction to OWU. So our location is fantastic. We are just a 2-minute walk from downtown Delaware, Ohio, where you can get to nearly 50 restaurants and cafes, a movie theater. There's even an entrepreneurship center where if any of you are interested in business and perhaps launching your own business, you've got all of those resources at your disposal. Students also use Delaware to get involved in connecting their learning to real-world experiences. So accounting students get to do accounting for local businesses. Pre-med students can have internships in local hospitals. Education majors get to work in local schools. And Columbus is also a great resource. As I mentioned, it's just 35 minutes away. Columbus, if you're not familiar with it, is the 14th largest city in the United States. It's the fastest growing city, second fastest growing city in the Midwest. And it is actually larger than Cincinnati and Cleveland combined, bigger than San Francisco, and it's been rated #1 city to work in tech and the #3 best city for new graduates to live, work, and play. So our students take advantage of our proximity to Columbus, both for community service as well as internships, not only during the summer, but even during the academic year. The 5 most popular majors at Ohio Wesleyan are politics and government, business, psychology, biology, zoology, believe it or not, as well as health and human kinetics. We have over 70 majors from accounting to zoology, so there's pretty much a major for just about everyone. And we have a number of pre-professional programs as well. But what I think is really special about Ohio Wesleyan is our signature program. It's called the OWU Connection, and it's all about connecting your learning to real-world experiences. And this picture here is Merrick Hall. It's the home to the OWU Connection, where you can go and meet with advisors to talk about applying for research opportunities, internships, study abroad, and so much more. So the components of the OWU Connection are to think big, go global, and get real. In terms of thinking big, we want you to imagine that as research opportunities, to delve into something really deeply, to think about solving real-world issues. And this picture at the top here also illustrates another important component of thinking big, which is the interdisciplinary nature of Ohio Wesleyan. So you don't just learn your major, but you learn how your major connects to other subjects and connects to the real world. We also want our students to be able to travel and have immersive cultural experiences. So over 70% of our students travel either through study abroad programs, or we also have what are called travel learning classes, which happen on campus. But after the semester ends, students and professors travel together. And for 2 or 3 weeks, they get to do field studies or have a cultural immersion. And it's very exciting to see up close and in person what you've been studying all semester long and to really experience it. The third component of the OU connection is to get real with real world experiences. You can think of that as internship opportunities. And that really gives you a chance to kind of try out different career paths and see if what you have in mind is actually a good fit for you, your talents, your skills, your personality and interests. And in addition to a whole bunch of summer internship opportunities, we also have a number of semester-long internships and apprenticeships, like this picture here at the bottom, which is our Washington, D.C. semester for students interested in politics and government. We have a business and finance semester in Philadelphia, a fine and performing arts program in New York City, and a semester in Chicago doing research in the humanities. So all of our students are guaranteed connection experiences, research, internships, study abroad, and travel learning. And this kind of illustrates how your education comes together. You can see that the student Eva here, she combined science and art, double majoring in zoology and fine art, and had connection experiences from internships to travel learning classes in the Galapagos, an internship at the National Aquarium. She did research in Panama, and all of that led to her being hired to work in Fairbanks, Alaska. Very quickly, I'll just say that Ohio Wesleyan, we make it affordable by offering merit scholarships, which range from $20,000 to full tuition. The average total that a student pays is $18,000. And with that, I will turn it over to my next colleague. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to have Beloit College.
Hi, everyone. I am Martha Stolze, and I am really excited to talk with you today about Beloit College. We are located in South Central Wisconsin, just a few blocks from the Illinois state line. And we have our beautiful campus has been around for 175 years. As a matter of fact, Beloit College was a college before Wisconsin was even a state. So when I talk with students about why Beloit College, there are 3 things that I really hope that they remember. The first is that we're an innovative place that always keeps students at the center. The second is that we are very much a liberal arts college that places an emphasis on practical application. And the third is that we are a college that embraces the and student. So what does all of that mean? Let's start with innovation. Beloit College has been nationally and internationally recognized for innovation. And as a matter of fact, for the last 2 years, Beloit College has been named as one of the top 10 most innovative colleges in the country. Nationally, we have been recognized for our student-led response to COVID-19. Based on feedback from our students, we completely changed our academic calendar last year so that all of our students were able to stay safely on campus in person for the full year last year. Internationally, we were just awarded an Architecture Design Award for the Powerhouse, which is our student union. And while it is just a really cool building, the most important thing to me about that award is the fact that it was based on the design around the needs and wants of our students to be able to really thrive on our campus community. We have student-centered support for our innovative programming in our academics. Our advanced mentoring program matches students and advisors as soon as they deposit to Beloit College. And I specifically say match and not assign because we think it's really important to put a student and faculty member together, not based just on what a particular major that student might be interested in or what the student's last name happens to begin with, but really finding that faculty member that's going to be able to mentor and guide the student throughout their time at Beloit College. So on to the practical application of the liberal arts. We have many facilities on our campus that allow students to take what they're learning in the classroom and put it into practice. Could be our campus TV station, our art studios, our 2 working museums on campus, our recording studio, our student-run art gallery. Whatever it might be, we want our students to take that knowledge that they're gaining in the classroom and put it into real-world context. Our career channels take that to the next step. They provide the frosting on the cake to an amazing Beloit College education. Through internships, research opportunities, alumni networking events, special interest panels, we give our students the opportunity to take what they've been talking about in the classroom, put it into practice, and prepare for what comes after college, whether that's career or graduate school. Going beyond the classroom, Beloit is definitely a place for AND students. What do I mean by that? The type of student that really thrives at Beloit is the student that doesn't want to be put into a box. They're the pre-med major who also plays the cello. They're the anthropology student who is also really passionate about ultimate frisbee. They're the football player who also dances in our ballet troupe. The powerhouse, which I mentioned earlier, serves as a hub for the campus life and hosts everything from movie nights to scavenger hunts. Our D3 athletics allows students to focus on their education and pursue the sports that they love. We offer many clubs and organizations for students to be involved and take on leadership roles while also growing academically. When it comes to the facts and figures of Beloit College, you can find a lot of this information on the website. But what I hope that you'll remember from today's presentation is that Beloit College is a place where innovation is always centered around students, where the liberal arts has practical applications, and where students who want to do more than just one thing truly thrive. For those of you who are seniors, a few quick notes about our application process. We are test optional and have been for over a decade. So for us, your essay and letter of recommendation are really important factors for us so that we can get to know you beyond your GPA and your test score should you decide to submit it. We want to start building a relationship with you no matter where you are in the college search process. And the best way to do that is to schedule an appointment with us for a virtual visit or an in-person visit to campus. Our website has more information on how to do all of those things. And with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to my next colleague.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All righty, Xavier University. Got
All right, killing me, Chelsea. You're killing me.
it.
Thank you so much, Chelsea and Mark, Kristen, before. My name is Jason Cloutier. I'm the Regional Director of Admission for Xavier University, which happens to be located in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm going to try to share my screen. I think I'm going to run through a quick PowerPoint presentation, and what we'll do is I think we will just run it through in the background, and I'll just give you some brief facts and highlights about Xavier. So I have a feeling that if I had a chance to meet many of you parents, counselors, and students on this call in person, and if I had said Xavier to you, chances are pretty good that the responses would vary from, I think you guys are a Catholic school somewhere in Pennsylvania or New York, in Ohio, we're getting there, or I see you guys playing basketball on television. And while those are terrific conversation starters, we are certainly much more than one would seem for those two particular monikers. You know, Xavier is a Jesuit Catholic institution. There happens to be 27 of us around the country. What does it actually mean to be a Jesuit Catholic school? Well, I think you understand in pretty short fashion that if you go to any of the 27 Jesuit schools, that the world doesn't necessarily revolve around yourself. So the students who are by and large attracted to a Jesuit institution are the ones that they have a deeper sense of moral responsibility to themselves. They want to give back to that family, to that city, to that community that they're calling home for the next 4 years. And as irony would have it, the 27 Jesuit schools are either in or immediately next to an urban environment. And as I mentioned, we're in Cincinnati, Ohio. And if you had listened to what Kristen had said earlier, we're certainly one of the larger cities in the state of Ohio, not quite as large as Columbus. But if you take where we're located, which is Cincinnati, we're 300 yards over the river is Covington and Newport, Kentucky. And then 20 minutes to our west is southeastern Indiana. This little tri-state region is anywhere from 1.5 to 1.6 million people. So it's certainly a metropolitan area for sure, but where Xavier happens to be located is about 3 miles from the center of downtown. We have a dedicated 200-acre college campus. We have nearly 5,200 undergraduate students, and that translates to an average of about 25 to 30 students in a freshman class. When parents are paying tuition to send their kids to Xavier, and I'm not just exclusively thinking that parents are paying for this, but by and large, when students come here, they're paying tuition to actually have a professor instruct them and not necessarily a graduate student or a teacher's assistant. And as a parent myself, that's pretty important. I think that the cost of education, we can all agree, is fairly costly enough that you probably want to be getting instruction from the best of the best. And that kind of leads me to my next point, which is I don't feel as though our students and our professors and our administrators and faculty and people who are associated with Xavier ever lose sight of why we're here to begin with. And I think Martha mentioned it earlier, we're student-centered. And it's similarly to Beloit. We have a 5, coach system, if you will. And so every student is going to be paired up with a student success coach, an academic advisor, a resident advisor, a financial advisor, and a career coach. And so these are 5 different individuals, 5 different people that are working with students to facilitate their success. And they're doing it from day one when you arrive at Xavier, and actually probably before that, if you think about it, throughout the rest of the admission and application cycle. But once the students arrive at Xavier and they hit the ground running, they have a variety of different people that are part of their support network. So we're trying to envision the hiccups and the roadblocks and we're going to fall down and scrape your knees, and we're going to be here to help pick you up. And yes, that stems from our Jesuit tradition of men and women for and with others, but it also stems from the fact that we want to see you graduate. We want you to be here for 4 years and literally not a day longer, unless you're in a grad program, that's fine. But we are nearly 56 to 57% out of state. So it means students don't leave Friday night, come back Monday morning. I find that, similar to my colleague, Kristen, I also work with students in the Northeast New England area. I reside in Rhode Island. And so when I'm working with students that are in New England, especially along the Interstate 95 college corridor, getting them to think, towards the Midwest can certainly be a challenge. But one of my biggest, I guess you could call it, selling points is the simple fact that if students are looking at schools in, say, Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., those are huge college towns. And from a non-pandemic standpoint, that's kind of where you want to be. There's, Boston has nearly 200,000 college students. I think there's almost 250,000 in the Philadelphia area. So if that's what kind of your jam, and you want to be surrounded by, 250,000 of your peers, then those are wonderful, wonderful cities to be in. But if you're thinking from the bigger picture of why college, and if I was doing a high school visit right now, that's usually how I start my high school visits. I figure out why you're there. I would say why college. That knee-jerk response usually entails to get a good job. Well, we know, and I'm sure that students are going to figure this out pretty quickly, that a college degree does not equate to a good job. And a good job for one student may be something completely different to another. But inevitably, a student is going to want to build a resume and start building their network while they're an undergrad. Doing it in a city like Cincinnati, which doesn't have quite as many colleges. We only have about, I think, 10 or 11, and about 74,000 college students, is going to be much more beneficial to a student because they become that big fish in a small pond scenario. That somebody wants to get an internship in the 96 different programs and majors we offer, they're just going to get it. We're predominantly a B+, A- school. We are completely test optional for admission, for the honors programs and competitive scholarships. And there's a bunch more information on our website as well. And if there's some time left over, or if you have questions in the Q&A, please feel free to reach out. But I'm certainly appreciative of your time. Chelsea, it's back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Next, we have the College of Wooster.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for your patience as I found my correct space there. I'm Jen Winge. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment at the College of Wooster, and I'm so pleased to be with my colleagues this evening. It's such a great group of schools that have a lot of common traits. But tonight, I will do my best to share a little bit more about what makes Wooster distinctive. And if it resonates with you, we certainly hope to hear from you and learn more about your individual talents and interests. So we're going to the other side of the state of Ohio from Xavier. We're in Northeast Ohio, just about an hour south of Cleveland and 90 minutes north of Columbus, which you learned from Kristen today. And Wooster is a small city of about 30,000. We've been recognized for 10 years now as a top 10 micropolitan city, which is essentially a measure of our great economy over a long period of time, but also the services and the civic engagement that our community has. And so our students truly benefit from that from a social perspective. So they have the amenities that they hope to see in larger cities, but have right here in our safe town, whether that's your Chipotle fix or Starbucks or the locally owned restaurants and shops and experiences downtown and walking distance of campus. But also being a county seat, we have some great opportunities for internships and service work and career exploration where you don't have to wait till a major break. So working at the Cleveland Clinic, the district attorney's office, we have 3 different school districts, a vibrant arts scene. So it's great to know that you have those amenities and those opportunities at your fingertips, where we are the only college in the town to take advantage of that. I want to share a little bit about campus because I do think a common reaction that we get from folks that walk around campus and have a tour and return is, now remind me how many students attend Wooster, and I'll get to that in a moment, but I think it's because of how expansive our campus is and just really how beautiful it is as well. In fact, we do joke, but it's true that we have more trees than students. So we tell students, enjoy all of the space and the facilities for 2,000 students, but also enjoy all of the seasons as well here in Northeast Ohio. And so our students really love to take advantage of our campus. And we always say, make sure you pack your hammock because of all of those trees. But most importantly, it's who we bring to campus. Wooster has a mission built into bringing all identities to campus and really providing opportunities to become a global citizen. We're very intentional about our size. We're just over 2,000 students. We can't grow. That is our limit. And we've had really healthy success over the last dozen years or so with our enrollment. And we are very intentional about who we bring to campus. And so we make sure that we have a highly diverse campus community. But when you limit it to 2,000 students, you're really guaranteeing that high touch, high quality mentoring and teaching that you expect from a school like Wooster. So knowing that you have an average class size of about 18, that we're attracting professors who actually love to teach and they know that you are their number one priority, we're making sure that you have access to them as advisors and mentors along the way. But we truly bring the world to Wooster. That is part of our mission and our strategic plan. And so know that you're going to meet folks from all over the country and world. In fact, we are the most internationalized campus in Ohio and the 16th in the country for how many students we have from outside of the US. So we know that more than ever before, it's important to be able to communicate and empathize and connect with people that are very different from yourself. And so we do that through the residential experience, through your classroom experience, and obviously through different applied learning opportunities. So we're very committed to that diversity in all different layers. And we know that when we bring all of those diverse perspectives and identities together, we provide the support services that help students thrive, but it also creates this incredible energy and this inclusive community where students are really celebrating each other's differences. They're finding different friend groups based on wonderful opportunities, and they're finding ways to really recognize and explore their own heritage and identities. This is a great example here of our culture show, which is really a pinnacle experience in the fall semester during our international month in November, where both international students and US students come together to really celebrate and explore through performance. And then we also know that Wooster students are very dedicated, social activists. They know that they have a space and a safe space here to really explore their belief systems and and really come together through a common cause. So know that there are wonderful ways to make an impact here locally, but also globally as well. When you bring all of those different personalities and talents together, you have lots of variety. So we have over 100 different student clubs and organizations, and that can range from really staying active and engaged. I think the happy and thriving student is one that doesn't want to sit still, that likes to stay active and engaged and take advantage of our intramural and club sports. But also, we do attract wonderfully talented students in the performing arts. We have scholarships for those in music, theater, and dance, and it's never too late to learn the bagpipes because we have a piper band. So know that there are some wonderful opportunities to take advantage of these types of performances, whether you study or not, or just want to stay engaged in different ways. Academically, I just want to share that we have a very flexible core curriculum, and we are a school that doesn't settle. We are looking at emerging career fields and opportunities for students to really engage through our flexible curriculum. So we have nearly 100 programs of study. We have a hub called APEX, which is our academic and advising and career planning center that really helps you explore and navigate those different paths and prepare you. And then last but not least, our Pinnacle experience. Every Wooster student, not just honors program students or certain majors, every Wooster student will take on an extensive research experience in their senior year. Now, they may do research before that, but we make sure that every student graduates with at least one intensive project. It is a class of one where you're working one-on-one with your professor and your advisor in the major field that you're pursuing, or perhaps double major or a combination of minors. And we know that research looks like this to a lot of folks. That's usually the first image that you think of, and we are very strong in the STEM fields. But it's great to know that research can take many forms, whether that's creative or more analytical. And we understand that folks sometimes ask, well, why should I be required to do research? Maybe shouldn't that just be a choice? But we have known through our own research, but also through different sectors and industries, that research in this intensive way will help you develop the skills most prized by graduate schools and employers. And we're not the only people that can say that. We know that presidents and provosts and deans across the country for over 20 years now have said only 2 schools have really done undergraduate research best and senior capstone experiences, and that's Wooster and Princeton. So we're very proud of that. And last but not least, I just want to share that there is a new book out from last January with New York Times columnist Ron Lieber, a great resource for your college search. And he dedicates a full chapter to Wooster for really representing the different value attributes that are worth investing in a college experience. So we're happy to be recognized through that new resource as well. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. All right, Union College.
I'm ready. Just going to share my screen. Hello, I'm Ann Fleming Brown from Union College, which is a beautiful, beautiful small liberal arts college in upstate New York. And we have an unusual thing. We also offer engineering as part of what we have at Union. And that is a real gift. We have 4 ABET certified degrees in engineering, and thanks to a $51 million gift to our college in 2020, we're going to be adding 2 new degrees in engineering, all of them ABET certified. We're located in upstate New York, so I'm taking you a little bit east of the wonderful colleges of Ohio, between the state capital of New York in Albany and the Adirondack Mountains. Our campus is completely suburban in feel. You can get a little picture of it here, but we're in a small city of about 65,000 people. So we really have urban flair and the suburban campus with 40 restaurants nearby and internships galore. You want Union if you're interested in having an academic experience where every professor is a scholar teacher. Every professor is an academic advisor, and you can trust that you'll connect with your academic advisor. Every professor is a research partner with students. Professors lead the full and mini terms abroad and guide the research that we mentioned before. You want Union if you're looking for an all undergraduate college, every class faculty taught, small classes with 24 the average for an intro class and 14 students in an upper level class. 10-to-1 is our student to faculty ratio. 20% of our students study engineering, and half of our students are in sciences, engineering, computer science, and math. Half of our students are in arts, humanities, and social sciences. So we have a wonderful balance in our community of interests and engagements. 100% of our sophomores complete a research project and learn about doing research. And 85% of the seniors do a senior thesis or senior projects in engineering where they work closely with a faculty mentor. If you want to study more than one subject, 80% of the students at Union do. They do double majors, majors and minors, and interdisciplinary majors like Asian studies, neuroscience. We have our most successful student of last year was a double major in history and political science and had a double minor in political economy and Spanish. He's won a George Mitchell scholarship and he's studying for a master's degree in Ireland. If you want a close collaborative community of students, you can cheer on sports teams like our Division I ice hockey team. We won the national championship in men's ice hockey in 2014 and we like to talk about it. We have 130 clubs and activities that you can run and organize. We're mostly a Division III school. I should have said that in most of our sports. You can be in music ensembles, theater productions, dance groups, and most of all, join in our social house system called the Minervas. Each house has a space for students to enjoy and also offers across the 7 Minerva houses 500 different activities a year. It might be Milkshake Mondays or pizza and politics, or it might be like my youngest colleague who just graduated from Union, who always sponsored the Portuguese table. You want Union if you plan a career. 85% of our students do internships, and Union is a top producer of Fortune 500 CEOs. That gift of $51 million came from the Templetons, and he's head of Texas Instruments. We're a top producer of Fulbright grants, Watson fellowships, and we're very proud of the 13,000 alumni who give back to our students who are preparing for careers. 97% of our students are employed in graduate school or have traveling fellowships within 6 months. If you've decided you want Union, and why wouldn't you? You would just need to complete the common application or the coalition application. And then you would have an interview, which we do all of our interviews on Zoom. What a wonderful way to tell your story to a member of the admissions staff. And finally, we are test optional for 14 years. And 40% of the students who are enrolled at Union did not submit standardized testing. So we're happy to evaluate you based on your application and academic record. We're fortunate to be able to meet the full financial need of families who apply to the college. We ask for the FAFSA and the CSS profile form. And we also offer merit scholarships and a special grant for families who have an estimated family contribution near the total cost of attendance called Making Union Possible. Union is open for visits. Come at 10 or 2 on any weekday, 10 and 12:30 on Saturdays. We'd love to see you and welcome briefly to upstate New York. Now I think we return to Ohio.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to pass it over to Adelphi.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today. I am Alana Dawson, Assistant Director of International Admissions for Adelphi University, but I also work with domestic students in Pennsylvania, Illinois, and I help with just a little bit of everything going on in our office. So Adelphi University, we are a medium-sized liberal arts university where we have about 3,000 undergraduate students, 5,000 undergraduate students and 3,000 graduate students. If you are looking for more of an intimate classroom setting, I would highly recommend a university such as Adelphi, as our average class size is 21, and that is amongst all majors. And the student to faculty ratio is 10-1. We have a saying on campus that says that your teacher will know your name, and that is definitely a testament to the education at Adelphi. We really make sure that our students have a hands-on experience when it comes to their education, and that all of our students feel heard and safe on campus. When it comes to demographics, we have students that represent about 64 countries and 43 states. I sit on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee on our campus, and it's really awesome to see just the different initiatives and action steps that we have in place to make sure that we are attracting students of different backgrounds, orientations, religions, disabilities, etc. And we really do our best to make sure that our campus reflects the world that we live in. So just to name a few initiatives, we have Hispanic Community Partnership Day, we have the Black Student Solidarity Day, we also have the LGBTQ+ Task Force and Allies Committee, just to make sure that we have representation and guidance for students within that community, as well as several other things that go on our campus. So here are our academic schools that house our majors. As a liberal arts school, all students do have to take general education requirement courses the first 2 years. So students can actually come in as undecided, which is really cool if you're not really sure what you want to study, or if you are between multiple different areas. So you would actually declare your major at the end of your sophomore year. We also have interdisciplinary studies, which allows you to take courses from a variety of different majors and essentially create your own bachelor's. Under our College of Arts and Sciences, this is our broadest college. We offer things from hard and natural sciences, such as biology and chemistry, to performing arts with dance, theater, and design technology. We have our Scholar Teacher Education Program, which is an accelerated program for students who are looking to get their master's degree. You would major in a core content area such as English or history and earn your master's in early childhood education, adolescent education, or TESOL, which would certify you from pre-K through 12th, and that is under the College of Education and Health Sciences. Within our College of Nursing, our nursing program is direct entry. So if you are thinking about becoming a nurse, I would highly recommend our program. We have simulation labs on campus with mannequins that bleed, sweat, and give birth. Under our School of Psychology, we have neuroscience as a major or a minor, and we also have an accelerated psychology program, again, where you would earn both your bachelor's and your master's. Our School of Business is AACSB accredited, meaning that we are in the top percentage of business schools in the country. We offer marketing, management, accounting, economics, finance, and business undecided for students who know that they want to get into business, but not quite sure what area they want to start out with. Then we have our School of Social Work. It is a dedicated School of Social Work. We have ties with local organizations for students to have a lot of opportunities to gain their clinical hours. Then we have our Honors College for students who are really looking for that added academic challenge once they get to college. It is cohort style and students must interview in order to be accepted. The Leavenworth Global Scholars Program is for students who are really interested in social justice and social awareness. We actually have non-governmental organization status at Adelphi, and students within this program do get to intern and participate in workshops with the United Nations. And then continuing with the 4+1 programs that allow you to earn both your bachelor's and your master's in 5 years. We have one for psychology, computer science, environmental science, just to name a few. Bridges to Adelphi is a fee-based service for students who are on the spectrum of autism. We provide social, vocational, and academic support for these students. And then we have our General Studies Learning Community, which is a one-year program for students in which we get back to the basics with effective study skills and effective learning skills. Our Learning Resource Program is another fee-based program that we have for students who have language-based learning disabilities or ADHD. Again, we are providing social, vocational, and academic support for students. And if students need accommodations, but not to the full extent of Bridges or Learning Resource, we do have our Student Access Office available. For students who are interested in going to dental, law, medical school, etc., we do have some of our early assurance programs available. Students are not limited to just these programs. You can attend Adelphi, for example, as a biology major on the dental or medical track, and still attend and apply to any school, professional school that you are interested in. These are just contractual agreements that we have. In some of these programs, students do have to apply coming out of high school. We have NYU Dental, for example, where you must qualify coming out of high school and it guarantees you an interview. But throughout your time at Adelphi, we are certainly preparing you to attend NYU. So what makes Adelphi unique? We have our hands-on learning curriculum for our students. We make sure that students really just get in there and learn everything. We have over 80 clubs and organizations for students to choose from, including study abroad, and we are 45 minutes away from the heart of the city. You can actually take the train and it's really, really close. This is our university center. It is one of the hubs of student life where students go in between class. You can get Starbucks. We have a fully franchised Starbucks, and it's just a really beautiful building. And of course, we accept both the Adelphi app and the Common Application. We are test optional until spring 2023, and all students that are accepted are automatically reviewed for academic scholarship. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at admissions@adelphi.edu and to follow us on social media at Apply Adelphi.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to invite everyone back on screen. We're going to do a very quick round robin. So I'm going to pose a question to all of our facilitators, all of our presenters, and then we're going to go around briefly and hear what they have to say. So I'm going to bring up our question here. And we're going to start with Ohio Wesleyan University. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
So many things I could suggest, but if I could just limit it to one piece of advice, try not to focus so much on where you're going to get accepted and the application process, but be thinking ahead to finding the right fit and the match. Because let's say you get multiple offers, you're accepted everywhere you've applied. You're then going to need to figure out where you're going to really feel at home for the next 4 years. So it's not just about applying and getting in, but it's about finding that great fit in your future home.
Thank you so much. Beloit College.
I would say visiting campuses as much as possible. And I know that that is a little bit tougher these days due to COVID-19, but really getting on campus, I think, is an amazing way to see if that school is the right fit for you. And I'd also encourage people to try and visit at least one school that maybe is a little outside their comfort zone. So maybe it's a little bit bigger than they think they want, or a little bit smaller than they think they want. I think that's a great way to kind of test what you really want.
Thank you. Xavier?
I would just say to try to limit and shut out the extraneous noise from your peers. This is your 4-year college experience. It's not your neighbors. It's not your friends on your ball team. It's not the colleagues that you work with that also happen to be in the same school and same class as you. And it's not your parents' 4-year college experience. It's your own. So my suggestion is, try to take the reins of this, really navigate this process. You should be doing 80 to 85% of the heavy lifting. Have your parents there for support in the background. And maybe if you're going to talk to your parents about the college search process and the application process, pick one day a week, talk about it for a half an hour, and then you've got 6.5 other days throughout the week where you're not. Just be you. It's a long, drawn out process, but trust it. Know that you're going to find the right place that's for you, and you're going to be a rock star. You'll be great.
Awesome. Thank you. Wooster.
Jason, you took mine. Okay, so in terms of empowerment, I've always shared with families that I think you should see the college search like an elective class that you're taking in your semester courses. And so you should commit about an hour a week to the college search. It doesn't always have to be together. And I also recommend to the family members on the event tonight that you should always be very careful and aware of how often you're asking your son or daughter about the college search so it doesn't become so overwhelming. But certainly committing about an hour a week helps you to really manage your time well. And that could be through a virtual event like tonight. It could be completing the FAFSA since that's now available. So looking for those key experiences and steps that will help make it much more manageable when the time comes to make a final decision.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Union.
Hello, everyone. I would say when you look at the colleges that you like, think about the thing that you don't like about the college, that you are not sure about, something that you're critical of, and then sit down and speak with a mentor, a counselor, a parent, whoever you're talking to about the college process, and decide if you can get along with that. Is it too far from home? Is it missing the match for your sports team? Does it have a library that you don't like? If you can live with those things, you're going to be very happy in that college going forward. So take that time to really consider the pluses and minuses of each place and to talk to your trusted mentors about that and just maybe make it a little bit more of an iterative process, something where you can give and take.
Awesome, thank you. Adelphi.
Okay, so number one, make sure that you have a professional email address that is not linked to your current high school email. So whether it's your name and your birth year at Gmail, AOL, whatever you use, make sure that it is professional. And second, make sure that you are continuously applying for scholarships while you are in college. Not a lot of people talk about that, but you can absolutely receive a scholarship as a current college student.
Wonderful. Those are all great pieces of advice. Thank you so, so much. I am going to wrap us up here now. Thank you to our presenters for your time, your insight. It was great listening to everything you had to say. Thank you, participants, for joining us this evening. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide. There is one more session, so we encourage you to check the schedule to sign up for one of those, and you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as the other recordings at stratascan.com/college essay guide. Thank you so much and have a great night.